Hey, all you supernatural sons and daughters out there, welcome back to the Winchester Report, a Southgate Media podcast dedicated to all things supernatural related. I am Lilith, and I have a new co-host, and I'm going to let her introduce herself right now.
Hello, I'm Jenny. This is my first official podcast. And I say that because I've been on some of the game shows with the Southgates at Live at the Blue Box, but never really anything like this.
Oh, it's easy. I mean, we're talking about supernatural, so it should just come naturally.
Or super naturally.
Oh, we got some punny business. Oh, you're going to fit in so good with this podcast. So, I know it's been a long time no hear from us. We've been going through some rough changes, but hopefully that's a different that's different this season. It's season 11. I can't believe it's been 11 seasons. Practically almost as long as you've been alive.
Actually, I'm 13, so...
How long have you been watching Supernatural?
I've actually been watching since, the 9th season. I attempted to start watching in the 7th season, but my mom said I couldn't, for whatever reason.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, also, I went back and watched all of the seasons. Basically, I was a vegetative blanket burrito in my room for a month.
Wow.
Because that's how long it takes to watch all of this.
Oh, wow. I haven't done a full marathon in forever.
Yes.
So, yeah. Glad to have you out of your vegetative blanket burrito.
Yes. My mom was not pleased.
Oh, it's the summer. What else you gonna do? Go outside? Nah.
Yes, I'd much rather stay inside and watch TV.
Oh, wow. A month. I have to keep that in mind next summer. It'll be like a month and a half by that time, but...
Yeah, because there's going to be 23 more episodes.
Speaking of episodes, we're here to talk about the season 11 premiere, Out of the Darkness and Into the Fire. It was directed by Robert Singer. It was written by Jeremy Carver. The synopsis for this is that in the aftermath of the darkness being released, Sam and Dean meet a young sheriff's deputy who claims people have been going rabid and killing each other. Meanwhile, Cash struggles to control himself from inflicting more violence due to Rowena's attack dark spell. And let's just say Crowley regroups in style after nearly escaping Castiel's attempt on his life.
Yes, and let's talk about how Crowley came back first.
Oh, man. So he body ganks somebody. A lovely suburban mom.
Yes.
Oh, and it's her birthday, no less.
Yes. Crowley the woman in itself is just awesome.
It was, right? I was like, can we just have 3 episodes of this? I love Mark Sheppard, but just somebody else channeling Crowley, it would be awesome to explore for a 3-episode arc. But I'm always happy to have Mark Sheppard back. Let's just be real.
Yeah. I don't know why all of the Comic-Con stuff was saying Crowley is dead, Crowley is dead, Crowley is dead, when clearly Crowley is far from.
They just had to tease us. They had to get our knickers in a bunch, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. I was surprised that we actually picked up right where we left off, because I feel like that's kind of sort of what we did last season, too. I'm ready for season 11 to knock my socks off and, do something completely out of the box and different.
Well, we are dealing with some pre-biblical things here, so I don't even think God knows what this is going to do.
I would hope so, hopefully. Somebody has to help the boys, because I feel like another thing since Jeremy Carver has taken over as showrunner is that the story is getting bigger and bigger and less human. Like, I know it's like so trite to say I really just want the boys to get back to like simple things, saving, hunting things, saving people. But honestly, I really do. I feel like this has gotten so blown out of control that I hope like after this darkness we can just kind of recoup. We've lost so much in such a little amount of time. I just like my head explodes every time there's a new big bad. They're literally bigger and badder than the last, and I'm just like, I just want some sort of normalcy, just a little bit.
Why do you expect normalcy out of something that is literally called supernatural?
Because it used to be kind of sort of a human story, and it's just, like I said, it's blown out of control. And I mean, some of the mythologies, the additions to the mythology has been interesting. Other things, Leviathans, could have done without.
The Leviathans were actually my favorite.
Really?
So, because we got Charlie out of that storyline.
I guess. I mean, I love Felicia Day, but like after about her third appearance, it was like, okay, you guys have worn this to the ground. But then when she kicked the bucket, I was pissed, of course.
Yeah, she deserved a better death than to be dumped in a bathtub by Frankenstein creators.
Yes, we'll probably get back around to that during the hiatus. We'll talk about some good episodes and some bad episodes. But yeah, the boys are lying to each other already. Dean about the darkness, and Sam about being infected by the darkness zombie goo. That's what we're gonna call it.
Oh my gosh, what was the name I came up with for it?
Yeah, the darkness zombies. And I'm like, that makes me think of like Ash in The Evil Dead, which is all kinds of awesome. Oh yeah.
I've never even seen that.
Oh, you totally should. I'm pretty sure it's PG-13 actually, because the blood is green in those movies. And it's Bruce Campbell. Love me some Bruce Campbell. If you love Bruce Campbell and you haven't seen it, you should. The TV show's coming out. I am like the queen of all things horror. I love horror so much. So yeah. Anyway, what do you think about the boys lying to each other yet again?
I think that this is what keeps making it more and more superhuman, is that if they can't even save each other, how are they going to save all of these other people being attacked by the things that they're hunting?
Yeah. I totally agree. I stayed really super spoiler free this whole summer of Supernatural stuff. So, like, the only thing that I did see was the Comic-Con stuff because I was actually there. And so I was just like, okay, we're fighting the darkness. And that's all I know. I know Rorena's like, Cass has got that thing, and I'm just like, okay, how are we gonna actually have the boys defeat them? And then there's all these other rumors, and of course we got a Cage mention this episode, which just put everything like at like alert level 10.
I hope we actually see Lucifer and Michael this season, because yes. Lucifer was originally the holder of he was the original holder of the mark.
Mm-hmm.
He might know something about this that everybody else doesn't.
I mean, yeah, I love Mark Pellegrino, but like I have been waiting like literally forever for Jake Abel to come back. So like, if that happens, I will be so freaking happy. The other Winchester brother, I guess, in case you forgot about Adam, like everybody else does.
No, I actually remembered Adam. But then again, I spent this summer as a vegetative blanket burrito watching Supernatural.
Yeah, I've been so pro Jake Abel just coming back. Even if it's just like a dead corpse or anything, like honestly. Anyway, I like the deputy that they met. I was hoping that she was going to stick around a little longer.
Well, if you read the preview for the next episode, it appears like she does come back.
Really? I see. Like I said, I'm staying spoiler free because I got to a point with spoilers in Supernatural. Like it just was no good for my sanity. So you can spoil me a little bit every now and then. I don't care, but like just as a general rule, I really don't do like the previews and stuff unless it's like a producer's preview or something like that. So yeah, that's kind of good to know unless she's actually like the darkness body swapping or something.
That would be interesting, but I don't think they're going to go that far.
Okay. I did like her, and it was like, it turned into The Walking Dead with the baby, and I'm just like, oh no, not a baby. When you hear the baby cry, you're just like, oh God, please. They're not going to kill a baby on Supernatural, are they?
Yes, if you kill a baby or a cat, I will hunt you down.
Wait, doesn't that baby have like a mark of some sort?
Yeah, the baby has the mark of Cain.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, you're going to need all the luck in the world, sister. Ooh. That's pretty rough, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Castiel. I mean, we hardly got any Misha this episode. I was bummed.
And the Misha we did get was a homicidal maniac.
And then he was being threatened to be tortured, but they never showed us. What do you think his storyline's going to be? Oh, yeah, I didn't. Did they tell you?
Yeah, you didn't read the... It says Cass has some issues.
Well, yeah, obviously he has issues.
I mean, he literally is under an attack dog spell. Who wouldn't have issues?
Right. I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of, they're missing the mark by not having Castiel with the brothers. Like, I just hate that he's always on these side quests. It's kind of a detriment to the character. Like, I understand on a writing level, he's like the easy way out of a situation, and that's just not entertaining. But at the same time, you're also sacrificing those great interactions between J2M. So,
as well as, this is pre-biblical. He is not an easy way out of the situation due to the fact that he is literally an angel of the Lord. He has no clue what this is due to the fact that it is pre-biblical and he only knows post-biblical.
He still has kind of sort of powers, and that homicidal rage could come in handy.
Depends upon when they meet him.
True, very true. I'm just kind of tired of it. Like I said, I'm hoping season 11 shakes up the status quo and gives like birth to something new and fresh and different in any kind of way, whether it's interactions, mythology, whatever. Because I mean, the last woman like villain that we had like outside of Naomi is Eve, and Eve kind of came in with a whimper and left with a whimper, and it was just like still so much to explore, and they just kind of disposed of her. So I hope that doesn't happen again.
You don't count Rowena as a villain?
She's kind of like this campy sidekick kind of thing. Like, I don't know, she's not a villain in her own right. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, she kind of plays tricks. Like, she's not very intimidating to me.
Yeah, but what's more evil than wanting to kill your own child?
Well, it is Crowley. Just saying. Oh, yeah. Poor Crowley. We didn't get a lot of him either, and I hope we see a lot of him this season. I love him as the King of Hell. I love that we got to see his little red smoke again. It's been a minute. Yeah, Crowley's my fave, just so you know.
My favorite is Cass. And it was Charlie until she kicked the bucket.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the boys, but I feel like they've gone as far as they can go with the brothers, and they haven't really learned their lessons, obviously, from this episode. Shoot first, ask questions later. It just always kind of comes back to that. And so, like, for me, Carly has actually had, like, the best, like, kind of character arc so far out of everybody that's still alive.
Yes, my favorite part of Crowley being a woman was when she was, like, in the woman's meat suit. She still insisted, well, Should I say she or he? Because Crowley still insisted upon being called king and he.
Yes, let's just go with that. Crowley insisted that they keep his pronouns despite him having boobies. I mean, I guess technically it's like, it's just a vessel. His, like, essence is still in there.
Yeah.
Oh, what are we going to do with Kylie this season, honestly? Do you know?
The gates are open.
Anything's
literally
possible?
and figuratively. Yes. As well as literally, because the cage.
Yeah. That's a scary possibility for him, but for us, it is the possibilities are endless at this point, and I'm, like, really happy about that. I wonder when the next, like, big convergence of when everybody gets together and says, hey, I know we hate each other right now, but this thing's bigger than us. So I'm thinking mid-season finale, episode 10.
Yeah, I think they were gonna, like, Shakespeare the season, because you know how in Shakespeare it's like the exact middle is where they have the biggest conflict.
Yeah. And then everything's just volley action and, resolving the conflicts from there. I mean, but goodness.
Yeah,
think about this. Think about since Jeremy Carver has come along, it's just been bigger, bigger, bigger. Like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna, like, Final Fantasy this and, like, kill God at the end of this, like, next season? Isn't that, like, the only thing left to do? I mean, we've killed death.
Well, I think God died in season 6 or something, because we have heard nothing of him.
Are you a subscriber that Chuck is actually God, just out of curiosity?
A prophet, potentially. A scribe, also potentially. I don't think God has an actual vessel.
Thank you. And I know that Rob has said this on several occasions that Eric Kripke kind of co-signed to, but I always take it as just, like, in passing as a joke, because I totally agree about that. Anyway, this episode was still really good. We still got really good brother moments. Of course, the whole, it's not a you problem, it's a us problem, because that is just quintessentially the Winchester boys. They're still in there somewhere.
We just have to find it.
Definitely. So, let's get...
No, wait a minute. The show writers have to find it, because we have no say in how they write the episodes.
Oh, contraire, mon frere. And that is a discussion for another day. I have very specific feelings about showrunners and writers being on Twitter and Tumblr and just social media in general. It really does color and influence them. And seasons 9 and 10 really suffered from it, in my personal opinion. So if that's what they said, I have high hopes for this season if they've really realized that. But I doubt that they have.
If they actually cared about their social media audience, they would have killed Charlie, when there are so many other people that they could have killed who were actually expendable and got the same effect.
Oh, I'm so mad they're alive. So mad. Anyway.
I'd actually say they should have killed Garth.
Yeah, oh my god, we are going to be the best of friends. Not that I don't love DJ Pauls, but the character of Garth is annoying and pointless at times. And nobody can replace Bobby.
Yeah, as well as he's a werewolf now, so kind of expendable at the point where you're not exactly a human anymore.
I mean, but that decision also came at a time because of Jeremy Carver, because of the previous things that he wrote on before he came back. That was kind of like, werewolves are his thing, and exploring the good and bad side of being a monster was his thing. And I think that the character of Garth was just kind of a casualty of that, unfortunately. And so I don't think that because of that fact that Jeremy Carver, like, kind of likes that, I don't think that he is expendable just because he's a werewolf. Actually, that's probably why he's super safe. Anyway, sorry. So let's talk about some of our favorite...
Because, like, the majority of their monster friends are in some way out of the picture.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the fandom kind of reacted in a way to it, and you kind of have to adjust because, well, TV is a business and it's about ratings. So you kind of have to like kind of balance between what you want to do, what's possible within the story, and you still have to have a really good sense about why your fans watch and how to grow and expand your character from in an organic way, I guess. And that's really hard with 11 seasons and 3 showrunners. you know.
Yeah. I'd imagine that 3 showrunners would have conflicts.
Yeah, everybody had a very distinct style. I mean, I liked kind of like, even though I should really hate Sarah Gamble for the things that she did, like getting rid of Baby for so long and a few other things that I won't get into right now. I still really kind of actually liked her style, but like, I rooted for her. With Jeremy Carver, it was like I had these high hopes. Like, I really loved the U.S. version of Being Human, and I really liked what he did originally when he was still a part of Supernatural before he left. And so, like, there were all these high hopes and expectations, and he kind of just totally killed it with the first episode that he wrote, 801. So I was just like, oh, this is not what I wanted at all. So Eric Kripke is king, of course, and, one day I hope he at least comes back to write the series finale.
Yeah, which I hope doesn't happen for a while, because I want them to hit another 100. Because I think when they hit another 100, they're like, they're probably gonna do like, because the 200th episode they had fans involved, like all those schoolgirls were fans of the show.
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
Yes, and I'd just like to be in one of those episodes because just reason. I mean, who wouldn't want to be on an episode of Supernatural?
Well, just hike yourself up to Vancouver this coming summer. Get yourself a SAG card. You're all set. So let's talk about some favorite scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, again, it's been a hot minute since we saw Crowley's red smoke. So being reminded of that was a very nice touch to the premiere.
Let's see. I think I liked I like the scene where Cass is just kind of out of control and the little boy is like about to take a shot at him. He just totally muffs him off to the side.
Yeah.
Of course, when Cass calls Dean, or Dean calls Cass, or whatever. Yeah, Cass calls Dean. And then he's like, he's like, I'll see you when I see you, because he's in super trouble and he doesn't want to worry Dean. And I'm just like, oh, it's going to be the death of me. Just tell him you're in trouble and he'll come running. Just stop it, Cass. Anyway. Frustrating. The orange. I like how when Crowley's meat suit comes in and the meat suit's husband's talking about her birthday present, and then after that they were like, "Sir, why didn't you wait? Why'd you wait until after the orgy?"
Maybe because Crowley actually wanted to do that.
Consider his origin story as a demon. I very much, and like why he sold his soul. I very much believe that. So yeah, those are my like favorite scenes of the night. Do you have any other ones you want to talk about?
Well, my favorite thing was actually figuring out how the darkness zombie infection transmits. Besides, of course, getting hit in the face with the darkness.
You figured it out?
Yeah, it's actually because when we saw Sam get infected, I figured out that it probably transmits a lot like AIDS.
Oh, okay. Bodily fluids and whatnot.
Yes. Because he wasn't afraid to, like, simply push her back. But when he cut her neck open and the blood got on his face, he knew he was in trouble.
Yeah. Poor Sam. He just can't catch a break. He is always getting his body invaded with something, isn't he? It's not demon blood, it's angel possession, it's demon possession. Just... Poor Sam.
It's darkness zombie syndrome.
Oh, something I found really cool is that the Darkness's name is Amara, played by the lovely Emily Swallows. It has a German name, but also the Greek meaning is eternal, and then also it could be unfading, grace, or bitter. Those are like kind of the name meanings from around the world of Amara, and I find that really interesting, especially the eternal part, because it's pre-biblical.
Yeah, it makes sense. If anything, I think they chose this name because all of the meanings made sense.
Definitely. It's nice to feel like they have a plan, because a couple of seasons it felt like they were flying by the seat of their pants and just trying to find a spinoff. Season 8 and 9, I'm looking at you.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So yeah.
Even though although if they were looking for a spinoff, why didn't they just have Charlie become a hunter instead of kill her in the bathtub and make her a spinoff?
Actually, my favorite idea for spinoffs, and it still could possibly happen, is kind of the Wayward Daughters with Sheriff Jody and that other sheriff. But too bad Charlie's gone. But she has that girl she basically adopted as well. I mean, something for the ladies. I mean, it is the CW, and, you know, they have backswung from that female-oriented programming that they originally set out to be as a network, and it's kind of gotten to be a masculine testosterone overload. So it's quite possible that could very much happen within the next 2 years. And I mean, I love Sheriff Jody. I loved her from freaking Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So, like, if she gets to stay in the supernatural universe and bring along cool side characters, I'm here for it. We should be petitioning for it. And then we could also have, like, a spell to bring Charlie back to make everybody happy.
They burned her body and she crushed her laptop.
It's so okay. We can go back. We can still go back in time. I mean, that's still out there.
Oh my goodness!
It's still out there. It's still in the realm of possibility. Never forget that. As long as angels are here, that's in the realm of possibility.
Cass, get your ass back in time so that can happen.
See? There has to be a reason angels are still around for some reason. Anyway, do you have any favorite lines?
Well, as you mentioned, sir, why did you wait until after the orgy?
Crowley, I apologize for nothing. Loved it. That's the best response ever.
Yes, that's probably my favorite scene in the whole episode, and probably will be my favorite scene in the whole season. However, I haven't seen enough of the season to determine that.
Oh my God. Like, Dean, when he's talking about the darkness, and he's like, what does she know? She's been locked away since the beginning of time. Does she even know what a cheeseburger is? And I was like, leave it to Dean to ask if she knows what a cheeseburger is.
Leave it to Dean to ask anything about cheeseburgers.
Oh my God. One of my favorite moments in the whole episode is he's on the phone at the gas station, and there's this sign, like there's like this whole like little billboard painted on the wall with pie behind him, and I'm like, turn around, Dean. There is pie 10 feet away from you.
Yes, leave it to Dean to ask anything about pie, cheeseburgers, or shots.
Exactly. What was another line? Oh, so we know Jet. Because that's what I feel like. When this episode opened and when it ended, I was like, okay, mark me down for scared and confused.
Yeah.
So yeah, those were pretty much the only lines that I really liked. A lot of it though, like with the deputy, it felt very much cliche. It almost felt like Walking Dead in certain points, and I don't know if that was the point of it.
Well, I've never seen The Walking Dead, so I wouldn't know.
I've seen like 6 episodes, and apparently they're pretty much all wash, rinse, repeat. So yeah. Okay, time for some trivia. Okay, so of course it's Supernatural, and what's a Supernatural episode without pop culture references? How many did you notice?
I'd really have to think about that one due to the fact that I actually spent a little bit of time like typing my notes because I decided to do notes on my phone, which I am never doing again because I hate it.
Just get yourself a little voice.
It is good for. Oh, my iPhone actually had that pre-installed, so.
That's what I kind of do during the commercial breaks. And I also, when I live tweet, I try to live tweet stuff that I know I want to talk about. That way I can just go back and read my Twitters while we're doing this. Anyway, there were only actually 2, and I was really kind of actually surprised about this. It was Magic Mike, which of course is a movie starring Channing Tatum that is semi-autobiographical. And then, what was the other one? 28 Days Later, which is one of my favorite zombie movies ever. Which I think is where they had that inspiration for the zombies from a little bit.
Yeah, I was guessing so, if not The Walking Dead, because you made so many subliminal references to The Walking Dead. Why?
Well, it's a very popular show. Tons of people watch it. I imagine that the crossover of the audience could potentially be huge. So, I mean, at the heart of it, it is about this relationship and the family that they make, and it doesn't end with blood, and they, overcome these big bads every season. So yeah, I mean, I see a lot of similarities at first blush, and I mean, if I looked it up, I'm sure there's a huge crossover in the demo. So. And I think probably one of the writers, Jeremy Carver, is probably a huge fan. He tends to kind of incorporate stuff that he likes into the episodes that he writes. So, yep.
So The Walking Dead is AMC. So how would that work? It's not like it's crossing over to CW shows like Arrow and The Flash.
I know. I just mean that, a lot of people that watch Supernatural probably watch The Walking Dead. And so it's like, oh, hey, I see all these similarities in The Walking Dead, blah. So, yeah. Oh, my God. I can't believe that Dean used the term horse sense. I'm like, why didn't they just say common sense? Is that a Canadian thing or what? I never quite know when they do stuff like that. If it's just, are they trying to, give a wink to their Canadian audience? Or are they just really old? That writer's room is really old.
Maybe it's both.
I hope so. So that baby was played by triplets, which is unusual. Usually it's only twins.
Yeah, it's because, it's almost never just one child because of laws regulating how much time children under 2 years old are allowed to spend on film.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I thought that was they must have been shooting really long, crazy, weird hours then, if they had to have triplets. Let's see. I knew I saw a couple of people that I had seen before. Ryan Grantham, who plays the young boy that Castiel kind of pushes out of the way, played Todd in 408 Wishful Thinking. Lacey J. Malley plays Deputy Gina Nickerson. She played Emily in 722 There Will Be Blood. Kristen Roback, who plays Marnie, a.k.a. Crowley's saucy little temporary vessel. She played Mrs. Wallace in 407 It's the Great Pumpkin, Sam Winchester. Lee Shorten, who is just a demon minion, was last seen in 1021 Dark Dynasty. And then Lane Edwards, who played an angel, also played Stephanie's father in 516 Dark Side of the Moon. That is a totally Jeremy Carver thing for the most part, to rehire people that have already been on Supernatural. It kind of annoys me a little bit. Just a little bit. None bigger than the Benny fiasco, though. Like, I'm like, dude, he was already a vampire.
Yeah.
We could have just used his name. Anyway, sorry. I digress. The episode title, Out of the Darkness Into the Fire, is a name of a song by Moxie, which is like a 70s Canadian hard rock band. Like, I didn't even know it was such a thing.
I recognize the name from somewhere.
Like, I didn't even know there was such a thing as Canadian hard rock. No offense to my Canadian listeners. But yeah, and they're from Toronto, so I'm just like, okay. Sure, why not? That's just so odd. But at least it's heavy metal and rock. Not like some weird Taylor Swift song, because that just does not fit Supernatural, no matter what they try to tell me.
Even though it was in season 10.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Shake it off. I shake it off.
Never forgave them for that. I don't care that Jensen likes that song and Taylor Swift. Dean does not! Anyway. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much
Well, hey, they played it off so that Dean does.
You can tell me that all you want. My headcanon is that he hit his head when he was in the shape of that little boy. And he still had a concussion. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much all I want to talk about for the actual episode. Do you have like for like the news and like fan out and stuff? Like, do you have any like fanfics or fan art that you found this week that you want to talk about? And you send me the links and I will put them on the Facebook and in our show notes.
Okay. Well, first off, I would just like to talk about the news for episode 4, because I'm sure your viewers have already heard it. I'm sure you already heard it because it was mentioned numerous times at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Episode 4 is going to be in the Impala's point of view.
Yeah, I'm really happy and excited.
My only question is how? Are they going to do it in the point of view of the car as a car? Are they going to have Rowena come back in and turn the car into a person?
Yes!
How are they going to do this?
I think they're going to turn the car into a person because, okay, so there's like, if you are on like Tumblr or like one of the forums, there's been like forever, it's been floating around this checklist of episodes that we want to see. And slowly but surely, since Jeremy Carver has come around, not saying that he's plagiarizing ideas from the fandom, and not saying that even if that's the case that the fandom minds, but yeah, it is like one of the last little check marks on the list is that the Impala gets turned into a human. So I definitely think that that's what they're going to do.
My only question is, what would the gender of this person be? Like, would it be a
girl.
guy?
Cars are girls.
It's a girl. I actually think that they should make the Impala agender, as in the Impala does not identify as either male or female.
Now, that would be interesting.
Yeah, because I can just imagine the interrogation
That would be
scene.
awesome.
Yes, I can just imagine the interrogation scene. So then, yeah, Dean says, "Are you a guy or a girl?" And then the Impala's just there like, "I am a car."
That is so funny.
Yes.
Who would you want to play the Impala if the Impala gets turned into a human? I can't even think of anybody that would be worthy to play.
Okay, based solely off of the fact that I want it to be a gender and her gender-neutral expression, I'd have to say Ruby Rose.
How did I know you were going to say that? Oh, that's funny. I don't know. Like, back in the day, I always wanted it to be Gina Torres from, like, Firefly and Angel. Because the Power's got to have a sassy mouth. And whoever it is needs to be, like, as tall as the boys. And I'm just saying Gina Torres is, like, a big, tall drink of water. So, huge fan of hers. So, yeah. Are there any fanfics or fan art that you found that you want to talk about?
Well, there's one fan fiction that I found on Wattpad. And if you're not on Wattpad, you need to be.
Oh.
Like, I'm serious. Pause this, go join Wattpad, and then come back in 5 minutes. We will wait for you.
Or 5 hours. Depending on what you find.
Yes.
Oh, what's the title of it?
The title of it is called Fall in Love Along the Way, and it's by one of my favorite fanfiction authors who actually, like, also does these sort of, like, Ask the Cast of Supernatural, and she tries to think about, like, what Dean or Sam or Cass or Crowley or whoever would say to these ridiculous questions.
Oh, so what's it about? Well, like, what's the summary? And warnings if necessary.
Warnings, none that I know of yet. However, the author might have something planned that I don't know about, but I doubt it because the girl is pregnant. Yes, basically, God is back in the game, and he basically does another merry thing to lead humanity back to righteousness. And Castiel is assigned to protect this girl whose name is Evie. Yes, and anyway, of course, she meets the boys, and I don't know if it's set that she's going to fall in love with Sam or Dean. This fan fiction is not complete yet, because what Wattpad allows is, like, you can post, like, only a few chapters, and then, like, people read it in the process of it being written.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how they do the Ask thing.
Sounds really interesting. I might check it out. Okay. I found a fan art that I'm going to post on our Facebook. You can find us on facebook.com/the Winchester Report. We are on Twitter. Well, actually, we're in the process of getting a new Twitter and a new email. So by the time the next episode happens, that should be all set out for you guys. But definitely check out the Facebook. Leave your comments about what you thought. And look forward to more updates about Supernatural. Okay, so that is a wrap on this episode. So we're going to do some shameless plugs. Where can they find you on social media?
Okay. On Twitter, I am Queer Llamacorn. On Tumblr, even though I don't use it as much as you would think, I am bi, super Whovian, and proud with hyphens, not underscores.
You can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. I am on Tumblr. It's lilithhellfire.tumblr.com. And please be sure to check out my blog, littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com, which I plan on updating starting next week, every day of the week, with a review from Prime Time. I promise this time. So, until next week, this has been Lilith.
And this is Jenny.
And this is the Winchester Report, signing off.